Has your music subculture been falsely identified by your friends? Have you ever mistakenly called your friend a punk or an emo when they're actually a metalhead or a goth? Hi, I'm Nathan. I also go by the alias King Knight, and I'm the singer for the local metal band Nox Sinister. And I am a metalhead who has consistently been called a goth, a punk, or an emo, almost anything other than a metalhead by casual observers. Today I'm going to be breaking down the differences between goths, metalheads, emos, and punks in what I like to call the quadrant of big darkness energy. As you can see by this carefully rendered quadrant Venn diagram that I totally didn't have to generate because I can't draw perfect circles, there is a fair amount of intersection between metalheads, punks, emos, and goths. There are, of course, unifying factors such as visual aesthetics and, instrumentation, but they are very different subcultures. Now, I'm most familiar with metal because it is my subculture of choice, but metalheads listen to metal, which can be broken down to the basic essence of bands like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica, Slayer, System of a Down, Death Angel, a lot of varying bands. Punks are more along the lines of the Ramones, Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, and Sex Pistols. Goths are typically more along the lines of Bauhaus, Joy Division, and Susie and the Banshees. Emos tend to be more Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, The Used, and Panic at the Disco. Now, there is a typical amount of intersection between these subcultures, as I said before. Punks and metalheads usually intersect with the aggressive nature of their music. Metalheads and goths pretty much intersect with the dark, thematic nature of their music. Goths and emos usually intersect with the sad nature of their music, and emos and punks usually intersect with the amount of, emotional angst that, is kind of similar to goths, but not. In terms of visual presentation, you tend to see the most intersection between the goths, metalheads, and punks typically wearing, the big boots, the leather jackets, and the dark clothing. Not saying that emos don't have this as well, but it's less common. Now, a lot of these subcultures have bands that they do intersect. Typo Negative is typically shared by the goths and the metalheads. The Misfits are usually shared with the punks and the metalheads. In fact, a lot of metal comes from punk because thrash metal was derived from the mixture between punk and the original wave of British heavy metal. All of these subgenres and music genres like to embody what I call music for the discontent. The general consensus with these genres and subcultures is a discontented nature with the world around you and the feeling of being somewhat of an outcast. But for hell's sake, I am a metalhead, not an emo. I listen to Black Sabbath, not MCR. If you liked this video, if it was helpful, or if you would like to learn even more detail, please like and follow. Be sure to send this to a friend who could stand to learn the difference, and keep an eye out on my band, Nox Sinister, for more music.